Unit 21. Word list. Astronaut. An astronaut is a person that goes into outer space.
The astronaut was walking on the moon.
Awake. When you are awake, you are not asleep.
Sometimes I lay awake in bed because I am not tired.
Courage. When you have courage, you are not afraid.
The man had the courage to touch the lion.
Float. To float is to move on top of water without sinking.
The boy's toy boat floated in the pool.
Grant. To grant something is to allow someone to have it.
The teacher granted us a break after studying hard all day.
Gravity. Gravity is the force that makes things fall to Earth.
There is no gravity in space.
Jewel. A jewel is a beautiful stone that is worth a lot of money.
A diamond is one of the most expensive jewels in the world.
Miner. A miner is a person who works in a mine.
The miner was looking for gold.
Mineral. A mineral is a type of substance found in the earth.
Rocks are made up of different kinds of minerals.
Participate. To participate is to take part in something.
The students participated in the school play.
Permission. Permission means the act of allowing the doing of something.
I have permission to drive my mom's car.
Pour. To pour a liquid means to make it come out of a container.
I poured some milk into my sister's cup.
Presence. Someone or something's presence is the fact they are there.
The presence of dark clouds meant it would rain.
Raw. If a material is raw, it is natural and has not been processed.
The company dumped raw sewage into the river.
Satellite. A satellite is something that is sent into space to get information.
The satellite was traveling around the Earth.
Scale. The scale of something is its size, especially when it is very large.
I was surprised by the scale of the buildings in the downtown area.
Skip. To skip something is to not do it.
He skipped work to get more sleep.
Stretch. To stretch is to make your arms or legs reach out.
She stretched her body before exercising.
Telescope. A telescope is a tool people use to look at the stars.
With a telescope, you can see the moon and stars easily.
Underground. When something is underground, it is below the surface of the earth.
Subway trains travel underground. From the earth to the stars. Jeremy was from a family of miners. Like them, he worked underground during the day. His job was to gather raw minerals and jewels. Each night after work, he lay awake in an open field. With his telescope, he looked at the stars. He was amazed by the scale of space. He wished someday he might travel there. One day there was an accident in the mine. Water poured into the mine. Everything was dark. Jeremy stretched out and grabbed a piece of wood. It kept him from sinking. Jeremy felt a presence nearby. "I am an angel," said a voice. "What?" Jeremy exclaimed. "You must never come underground again. Have the courage to make your wishes come true." For a long time he floated in silence. Then he heard other voices. The other miners were coming to rescue him. The next day, Jeremy skipped work. He decided to become an astronaut. For the next 2 years, he studied hard. One day, he was given permission to participate in a mission to space. His wish had been granted. His spaceship left the ground. It went higher until there was no more gravity. He saw satellites floating next to the ship. Then Jeremy saw a beautiful angel outside his spaceship. It smiled at Jeremy. For some minutes, Jeremy could not speak. Finally, he said, "Thank you."
Unit 22. Word list. Alarm. An alarm is something that warns people of danger.
When the students heard the fire alarm, they left the building.
Apart. When people or things are apart, they are not close together.
The couple decided to live apart from each other.
Arrest. To arrest someone means to catch them for doing something bad.
The man was arrested for breaking the law.
Award. An award is a prize someone gets for doing something well.
He got an award for having the best grades in class.
Breed. A breed is a group of animals within a species.
I like small dog breeds, such as terriers.
Bucket. A bucket is a round container to put things in.
I filled the bucket with water.
Contest. A contest is a game or a race.
The girls had a contest to see who could jump higher.
Convict. To convict someone means to prove that they did a bad thing.
He was convicted of the crime and sent to jail.
Garage. A garage is the part of a house where people put their cars.
My car does not get dirty because I keep it in the garage.
Journalist. A journalist is a person who writes news stories.
The journalist took notes for a story he was writing.
Pup. A pup is a young dog.
All the girl wanted for her birthday was a pup.
Qualify. To qualify is to get, or to be declared, adequate or good enough.
He qualified to go to the final match by beating the opponent.
Repair. To repair something is to fix it.
I repaired the flat tire on my car.
Resume. To resume something means to start it again after taking a break.
I put the newspaper down to eat breakfast. Then I resumed reading.
Rob. To rob a person or place is to take their property by using force.
A thief has robbed me of my passport.
Slip. To slip means to slide and fall down.
The man slipped on the wet floor.
Somewhat. Somewhat means to some degree, but not to a large degree.
James was somewhat upset when he had to move some boxes.
Stable. When something is stable, it will not fall over.
The chair is stable. Its legs are strong.
Tissue. A tissue is a soft piece of paper people use to wipe their noses.
There was a box of tissue on the table.
Yard. A yard is the ground just outside of a person's house.
The girls jumped rope in the yard.
The Farm Festival. Once there was a farm. Many animals lived there. One day, they had a contest in the yard. They were going to race from the barn to the farmer's garage. The barn and the garage were far apart. It would be a long race. The winner qualified to win a bag full of apples as an award. But the race did not start well. The cart with all the apples was not stable, and the animals had to repair it. Then the pup knocked over the apples. The pig yelled, "We are going to slip. We must clean up this mess." The pup felt bad, and she began to cry. The dog gave her a tissue to wipe her tears. Then the race resumed. But the duck tried to rob them and take all the apples. The cat said, "I will have you arrested." The duck said, "You can't convict me. You can't prove I took it." The race stopped yet again. The animals tried to race one more time. Then they heard an alarm coming from the barn. There was a fire. They got buckets of water to put out the fire. A journalist came to write a story about the festival and the race. The horse told her, "I am a special breed of horse. I would have won the race easily." The pig said, "It was somewhat hard to have the race, but we had fun. That is what's important." Unit 23. Word list. Alike. If two things or people are alike, they are similar in some way.
People often think my sister and I look alike.
Annoy. To annoy someone means to bother them.
The flies buzzing around John's head annoyed him very much.
Architecture. Architecture is the style or way a building is made.
The architecture of the church is amazing.
Artificial. If something is artificial, it is made to look like something natural.
That soccer field has artificial grass, but it looks real.
Chain. A chain is a series of connected loops, often used to keep things in place.
The scary dog was secured with a chain.
Distinct. If something is distinct, it is easily noticed or different from other things.
That girl has distinct pink hair.
Distinguish. To distinguish is to recognize differences between things.
The twins look exactly the same. It is hard to distinguish between them.
Dust. Dust is very tiny pieces of dirt or other matter.
In the old house, the dust was thick on the floor and chairs.
Excitement. Excitement means to feel a lot of happiness about something.
Did you see the excitement in her when the team scored?
Heal. To heal means to make a part of the body healthy again after injury.
After my broken arm heals, I can play baseball again.
Inherit. To inherit is to get something from someone who has died.
She inherited her mother's gold earrings.
Manner. A manner is the way someone does something.
His manner of not looking at someone while speaking is a bit rude.
Mount. Something mounts when it becomes stronger over time.
His fear mounted as the monster crawled out from under his bed.
Roof. A roof is the outside top part of a building.
The roof was covered with snow.
Shortage. A shortage is a lack of something you need or want.
Since there was a shortage of food, people were hungry.
Solid. If something is solid, it is made of firm material.
The safe looked to be quite solid.
Stock. A stock is a stored amount of something.
They keep a stock of rice so they'll always have something to eat.
Substance. A substance is any specific material or mixture of materials.
Water is an important substance for all living things.
Tomb. A tomb is a grave where a dead person is buried.
Their whole family is buried inside the tomb.
Wound. A wound is an injury to the body.
He had many wounds after the car accident. The clever thief. A new king inherited a lot of gold. He loved his gold very much. He even wanted to keep it after he died. Therefore, he had a large tomb built for himself and his riches. However, The tomb's builder had a plan. Most of the stones were solid, but he put one special stone on the roof. It was made of a lighter substance. When the tomb was done, the king moved in his stock of gold. One night, the builder went to the tomb. His excitement mounted. Because all the stones looked alike, he had left a distinct mark on the artificial block. The mark helped him distinguish the difference in the architecture. The builder lifted the stone. Using a chain, he climbed into the tomb. He filled his pockets with gold. The builder followed this manner night after night. Soon, the king noticed a shortage in his gold. This annoyed the king. At last he hired a guard to hide inside the tomb. When the builder entered the tomb, the guard wounded him. He climbed a pole to the roof. The builder left drops of blood in the dust. The guard followed them and caught him. When the builder healed, he explained to the king that he didn't keep any of the gold. He had given it all away to the poor.
Unit 24. Word list. Bath. A bath is water in a tub. People take a bath to get clean.
After playing in the dirt, the boy took a bath.
Bend. To bend is to move something so it is not straight.
Lee bent over and picked up the paper on the ground.
Chew. To chew is to move your mouth to break up food.
I always chew my food carefully before swallowing it.
Disabled. When a person is disabled, they cannot do what a normal person can do.
The disabled man used a wheelchair to move around.
Fantastic. If something is fantastic, it is really good.
The student did a fantastic job on his project and got an award.
Fiction. Fiction is a story that is not true.
I enjoy reading works of fiction because they are very entertaining.
Flag. A flag is a piece of colored cloth that represents something.
Our country has a beautiful flag.
Inspect. To inspect is to look at something carefully.
The mechanic inspected our car to see if it had any problems.
Journal. A journal is a type of magazine that deals with an academic subject.
Mi-young was busy working on an article for an art journal.
Liquid. A liquid is a substance that is neither solid nor gas.
Water is the most important liquid for life.
Marvel. To marvel at something is to feel surprise and interest in it.
We marveled at her excellent piano playing.
Nutrient. A nutrient is something that a living thing needs to keep it alive.
Vegetables are full of important nutrients.
Overcome. To overcome a problem is to successfully fix it.
She overcame her shyness and spoke in front of the class.
Recall. To recall something is to remember it.
She was trying to recall what she had told her friend.
Regret. To regret something is to wish that it didn't happen.
I regret that I was mean to my sister.
Soul. A soul is a person's spirit.
Some people believe that the soul lives after the body dies.
Sufficient. When something is sufficient, you have enough of it.
After eating a sufficient amount of food, I left the table.
Surgery. Surgery is medical treatment when the doctor cuts open your body.
I needed surgery to repair my leg after the accident.
Tough. If something is tough, it is difficult.
The man passed his driving test even though it was very tough.
Tube. A tube is a pipe through which water or air passes.
The pile of tubes was going to be put in the ground.
The doctor's cure. James Fry was a fantastic doctor. His surgeries helped many disabled people overcome their injuries. He also wrote for a popular medical journal. James was very busy. His son Steve rarely saw him. One day, James was walking and inspecting a patient's file. There was water all over the floor. James slipped on the liquid and fell. He fell on a broken glass tube. He was hurt. Steve came to visit him in the hospital. James said, "It will be tough for me to stay in bed, but I can hardly bend my legs." "Then let's watch a movie," Steve said. It made them laugh together. Steve said, "I have to leave, but here's some fiction to read." James started to recall fun parts of life. He marveled at small things, like food. He was too busy to notice them before. "Steve," he said, "you get more nutrients when you chew slowly. But I think it makes food taste better, too." Weeks later, James said, "Steve, I haven't spent enough time with you. I regret this. Even my soul feels better when you visit. But I have spent sufficient time here. We should go home." Outside there was a warm breeze. James watched a flag blow. Finally, James said, "I'm not ready to work. I'm going to take a long bath, and then we'll watch a movie together." Unit 25. Word list. Admit. To admit something means to say that it is true.
I had to admit that I stole his idea.
Bin. A bin is a container that holds things.
He put his trash in the bin.
Bowl. A bowl is a deep round dish that holds food or liquid.
I ate a bowl of cereal for breakfast.
Cabin. A cabin is a small house made of wood.
My grandfather owns a small cabin in the country.
Cash. Cash is money in the form of paper or coins.
I was able to save up enough cash to buy my mother a gift.
Criminal. A criminal is a person who does something against the law.
The police made sure the criminal couldn't move his hands.
Dozen. A dozen is a group of 12 things.
Mom brought home a dozen donuts for us as a treat.
Elder. An elder is a person who is older than the people around them.
Uncle Ray is my elder, so I always try to be respectful.
Facial. If something is facial, it is related to a person's face.
I could tell from his facial features that he was angry.
Fence. A fence is a structure around a house or field.
The farmer put up a fence so that no one could walk on her field.
Inspire. To inspire means to make a person want to do something.
I was inspired to write a poem after watching the sunrise.
Mere. When something is mere, it is small or not important.
We lost the game by a mere 2 points.
Neat. If something is neat, it is very clean or organized well.
My sister always keeps her bedroom very neat.
Occasion. An occasion is a time when something important happens.
Her graduation was an occasion to have a good time.
Penalty. A penalty is a punishment given when someone breaks a rule or law.
I had to pay a $100 penalty for parking in the wrong spot.
Rude. When someone is rude, they are mean and not polite.
The children at the bus stop were very rude.
Settle. To settle a problem means to end it by finding a solution.
It took 3 of our best executives all day to settle the problem.
Vehicle. A vehicle is a thing that moves people or things to another place.
A ferry is a vehicle that takes people from one island to another.
Wallet. A wallet is a thing that holds money and fits in a pocket.
I keep my money in a wallet.
Yell. To yell is to say something very loudly.
The coach yelled at his team for their poor performance. The criminal. A man had been in jail because he stole things. The criminal never felt bad. One day, he escaped and ran into the woods. He found a cabin with a fence. The cabin was very neat. Inside, the criminal found a bowl of fruit, a bottle of milk, and a dozen eggs. He ate the fruit and drank the milk. But the eggs smelled funny, so he put them in the trash bin. Soon he heard the sound of a vehicle's motor. An old man came in and saw the criminal. The old man yelled, "Why are you in my house?" The criminal lied, "I'm a policeman." The old man replied, "I am your elder. You cannot fool me. You are the criminal." The criminal's facial expression became very sad. He admitted that he was a criminal. He said, "I'm sorry. It was rude for me to come into your home. Please take the cash from my wallet. It is a mere amount, but it will settle our problem." The old man said, "I do not want your money. I just want to inspire you to be good. There will be no penalty for taking my food." On this occasion, the criminal realized that he had been bad. He listened to the old man and never stole from anyone ever again.
Unit 26. Word list. Accuse. To accuse someone of something is to blame them for doing it.
She accused her brother of breaking her computer.
Adjust. To adjust something means to change it so it is better.
He adjusted the old guitar to make it sound better.
Amuse. To amuse someone means to do something that is funny or entertaining.
The singer was very good. She amused the crowd.
Coral. Coral is the hard, colorful material formed by the shells of animals.
The diver admired the beautiful coral under the water.
Cotton. Cotton is a cloth made from the fibers of the cotton plant.
I like to wear clothes made from cotton in the summer.
Crash. To crash means to hit and break something.
There was a loud noise when the car crashed into the tree.
Deck. A deck is a wooden floor built outside of a house or the floor of a ship.
A ship will store many supplies below its deck.
Engage. To engage in something means to do it.
Dad was engaged in sawing a piece of wood in half.
Firm. When something is firm, it is solid but not too hard.
He sleeps better on a firm bed.
Fuel. Fuel is something that creates heat or energy.
Heat is the fuel that comes from fire.
Grand. When something is grand, it is big and liked by people.
The Grand Mountain rose high into the sky.
Hurricane. A hurricane is a bad storm that happens over the ocean.
The wind from the hurricane bent the palm tree.
Loss. A loss means the act or an instance of losing something.
I suffered a big loss while I was gambling.
Plain. If something is simple, it is plain and not decorated.
He bought a pair of plain white shoes over the weekend.
Reef. A reef is a group of rocks or coral that rise to or near the ocean.
He walked along the reef and looked at the water below.
Shut. To shut something means to close it tightly.
Please shut the door. The air outside is cold.
Strict. When someone is strict, they make sure others follow rules.
The teacher is strict. She does not let students talk in class.
Surf. To surf means to use a special board to ride on waves in the ocean.
The students went to the beach to surf during their vacation.
Task. A task is a piece of work to be done that is usually difficult.
My task for the weekend was to clean the entire backyard.
Zone. A zone is an area that has different qualities from the ones around it.
Firefighters often work in danger zones.
The two captains. Once there were two ships. Both ships carried cotton. The captains were very different. Thomas was strict. He made his crew engage in difficult tasks. Make sure the ship's deck is firm and that nothing falls. Put more fuel in the tank, he said. His ship was very plain, but he never had a problem with it. The second captain, William, was not serious. He had a grand ship, and he loved having fun. His crew amused him by singing and dancing. But his crew never fixed anything on the ship. They just wanted to surf. One day, Thomas saw a hurricane ahead. He knew that his ship needed to turn around. But he was sure William did not see the storm. He adjusted the dials on the radio and called his friend. Thomas said, "You'll hit the reef. It's made completely of coral. Round to ensure that you do not crash." William said, "We will go under the deck and shut the door. We will dance and sing until we are past the danger zone." When William's ship got to the hurricane, the wind blew it into the reef. The ship crashed, and water flowed below the deck. William's crew accused him of being a bad captain. The loss of the ship taught William a lesson. There are times to have fun, but there are also times to be serious.